Hello.
Hey guys, it's Ijeoma Kola here and
Jonathan Kola.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Today we have a little bit of a different video. We are actually going to be talking about a very exciting update that we have in our lives, which is...
We're pregnant.
I promise he's way more excited. Today's just really hot. As you can see, there are boxes in the back. We're supposed to be packing up for a move. If you subscribe to my newsletter, you know where we're moving to. If you don't subscribe, you'll find out in a couple of weeks when I post a video about where we're moving to. And it's like 1,000,000 degrees today, and we have to turn off our AC because it's too loud. So bear with us, bear with him really, because his energy is a little lower. But I'm gonna be answering some pregnancy Q&A questions that people sent to me on Instagram. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this.
It's below, right?
Yeah, it's below. I'm not planning on becoming one of those people who like only talks about baby, but it's obviously a part of my life, so I am planning on sharing some content around pregnancy here on YouTube, but also on the blog, especially on the blog. So make sure that you go look at the blog as well.
Check it out today.
Today. There's a cute post today about the announcement that came up this week. So anyway, let's go and get started. The first question that a lot of people ask is, how did you find out and tell Jonathan? Which I think is really interesting because Jonathan actually found out before I found out.
Oh, yeah. Well, we did an in-home pregnancy test. So I dipped the strip into the substance. And yeah, when it came out, I was like, hey, is it 2 lines? Yeah. What do 2 lines mean? Then you said something, then I was like, oh, I think this is positive. Something like that, but there was more excitement at the time, for sure.
Excitement, yeah.
But okay. Long story short, I saw the test first and told Ijeoma.
Yeah, so what actually happened was...
I already said what happened.
I know, but I'm giving a more fleshed out version of what happened, like a little bit more interesting version. No, you've told the facts, and I'm gonna embellish with like additional details, like storytelling.
Okay.
Okay, so what happened was, so some people know we had been trying for quite some time. So it had gotten to the point where I actually like didn't want to take pregnancy tests by myself anymore. So I asked Jonathan like, hey, can you look at the test? I can't look at it. And so that's how he ended up looking at it. The day that we found out, you had just come back from a trip. You just come back from a trip that evening. Oh, okay. And that morning I was supposed to go work out, and I took the train to go to the workout class, and I got there and I started feeling like really sick. So I actually took an Uber home and then just kind of went about my day. Was feeling a little down because I missed him.
Sorry.
Thank you. So as soon as he came back, he was like, how's your day? And I was like, I was kind of feeling like, bleh. He came home, we took the test together, and I sat there and I was like, I can't look. And then he was like, what's 2 lines mean? Yeah, so Jonathan found out first and then told me.
How many weeks?
Why don't you answer that since you're...
18 and a half?
Yeah.
19 maybe by the time this is posted?
No, it's gonna be posted tomorrow, so just 18 and a half weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What was your reaction when you found out you were pregnant? What was my reaction? I was still sitting on the toilet, so I don't remember really what I did. What you remember what I did?
Not exactly, but I think it was a pretty emotional moment. Because it was a happy time, and you can be happy and excited that something happens, but this was kind of profound.
Life-changing, really.
Yeah, so I think we just sat there in quiet happiness.
Yeah. It had been a long time coming, so yeah. Were you taking prenatals and calculating your ovulation period? Yes, I was doing all of those things. So I started taking prenatals. Do you know when I started?
No.
I started taking them probably at least like 6 months before we got pregnant. I don't know if it had anything to do with anything. I know I started taking them and kind of fell off because I was like, this is dumb, I'm not getting pregnant, so why am I taking this? And I was tracking ovulation from a year. So we had tried for just about a year, and I was tracking my ovulation. Actually, no, I was tracking my cycles, but not necessarily ovulation. I tried to do ovulation strips, but they were like, I felt like it was confusing and gave me 2 different results. So I wasn't really tracking my ovulation, but I was tracking my cycles for sure. Did you know instantly that you were pregnant? No. I think the day that we tested was day 1 of a missed period. But again, I had taken like 15 pregnancy tests before that and swore I was pregnant numerous times and was not. So no, I didn't know. Do you plan on giving your child an Igbo and or Kenyan name? I don't know, a Kenyan name is not a thing, but maybe they meant like a Nigerian cultural name and a Kenyan cultural name. Maybe this person's Igbo and doesn't understand that Kenya has multiple peoples. Guys, do better. We need to do better, okay?
Yeah, probably. Probably we will give them both Igbo names and names from Kenya.
Yes.
Or an Igbo name and a Kenya name.
Yes.
Yes.
Where are you from in Kenya?
I'm from the lakeside.
Which people is that?
The Luo people.
They'll likely have both an Igbo name and a Luo name, at the very least. If you choose, will you go for a C-section or a natural birth? I don't know anyone who goes in saying that they'll choose a C-section. I would of course love to have a natural birth, but at the end of the day, like, I just want our child to come into this world healthy. So whatever it takes to get there.
Congratulations. Any cravings yet? Morning sickness? Question mark.
Question mark. Thank you. I have had no cravings. I think I craved that day that we tested. I craved fried chicken and I ordered Popeyes. But since then I haven't had any cravings. I was very fortunate to not have any morning sickness. The only day that I was nauseous again was that morning that I found out. But yeah, that's it. It was real. First trimester treated me very, very, very well. No cravings, no aversions, no morning sickness, no nothing. I had like a couple of days of heartburn, but that was really all. Who did we tell first?
Told our parents first.
Yeah. How did we tell them? I don't even remember at this point.
I think we just called them.
I think we just called them, yeah. Use any specific apps to help know the perfect timing? I use the Glow app. The umbrella is called Glow, but there's also Eve, Glow, Nurture. And so Glow is specifically, Eve is just a period tracking app. Glow is specifically fertility tracking, and then Nurture is when you're pregnant.
How did you manage the stress and pressure that comes with taking long to conceive?
So for me, one thing that was really important in the whole process was knowing and reminding ourselves that we were in it together. And I think Jonathan did a really, really amazing job of not making me feel like there was something wrong with me and that it was like all on me to like do things correctly. So it was really a joint process, and I think that that was one way that we were able to manage the stress. There wasn't necessarily pressure to conceive that was like put on by any outside forces. I think for me, I'm a planner, so I wanted it to happen at a certain time, and when it didn't happen at that certain time, I was like, well, what's going on? Because I needed it to happen at this time. But God's timing is always the best, and I was completely foolish in my original timeline. So yeah, I think that's how we handled the stress, was to really be in it together. And then every once in a while, like I think every couple of months, we would take like a break. Like I would try my best like not to be thinking about when I was about to ovulate and stuff like that, because it just can become like a chore, like tracking this stuff, and then intimacy becomes like an exam for school rather than something like fun and enjoyable. So yeah, taking a break every once in a while, but also really being in it together, and then staying prayed up as well and trusting God ultimately. What are you most excited about?
Oh, I don't know, baby, family.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was 2 words, right?
Good for you for getting 3 words out. I'm most excited about matching family outfits.
Ooh,
listen, the amount of, no, it doesn't mean however you wanted to answer. That's what I'm most excited about. The amount of time I have spent pinning, matching Ankara, husband, wife, child looks. We are about to be so fresh.
I see.
So very fresh. Do you have a name?
We're working on it.
We are. Yeah, we're working on it. Will you have a home birth or a hospital birth? Before I knew anything about the process of getting pregnant and being pregnant, I wanted a home birth. Now that I am pregnant, I would like a hospital birth. How do you keep news like this hidden / private during the first trimester? I have nosy coworkers. How did you keep it hidden?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to see me and go like, hey.
But didn't someone ask you if you had a baby like on the way before you had announced?
Yeah, I just said, interesting. Let's bookmark this conversation and we'll revisit.
That's such like a, that's such a Jonathan thing to say. So for me, we told our family, our immediate family, so that's siblings and parents. We told, I don't know what process you use to tell what you tell your homies, but I then told my close circle of friends, And then I told a few friends who I knew had like been praying for me and had like been in the struggle together. So everyone else, like no one else needed to know. I wasn't going into work every day, so you know, for me, nobody was really seeing me. When I did go to an event, like a blogger event, I wore an outfit that you wouldn't be able to tell anything, and I will put up a blog post about how to dress to hide your growing bump, because I think I did a pretty good job of that for like 17 weeks until I just announced. So for me, it wasn't as big of an issue because I wasn't seeing people regularly. But if you work with people, I would suggest like just wearing oversized clothes. Tell one person who you trust, maybe, so that they can cover for you if need be, if you're like running to the bathroom or something. Otherwise, like, they don't need to know. It's nobody's business unless they are paying for your health insurance or unless they impregnated you. Yeah. Who cried more when you found out?
Between us two?
Did you cry?
I don't think so. You cried, right?
Probably. Okay, do you think it's true when they say nothing can prepare you to be a parent?
Well, I'm not really parents yet.
Y'all said we're not gonna answer that question.
But I'm sure that's true.
Will you shift from lifestyle blogging to mainly family/parenting? No, I will still focus on lifestyle. And for me, lifestyle has been a really great category niche to be in because it really encompasses every single thing, every single aspect of my life. So family is a part of my life. So I feel like the way in the past I've written like long form content about marriage, I'll probably write long form content around pregnancy and baby, but I'm not about to be like a mommy blogger that's like, I'm not just one thing. If you know anything about me, I'm not just one thing, so I'm not just about to start talking about just one thing.
What was the best and worst part about the journey to pregnancy? The best part about the journey... What was the best part about the journey? I don't know, the end. It was nice.
Okay, what was the worst part?
Was the length.
The waiting.
Yeah, the waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me,
next.
Okay. Well, I want to answer.
Oh,
so for me, the best part was that it was something like a task or a project that we were endeavoring on together.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so for me, it was probably the first accomplishment. Not that having a child is an accomplishment, sorry. Not that having a child is an accomplishment that like everyone should do, but for me, it was like the first task that I've undergone that is like life-changing that I did with Jonathan. I guess getting married we did together, but we still like, that was still an individual choice that we individually had to decide, I want to marry this person. But having a baby requires two people, and like trying for a baby requires two people to be intentional and active and right. So that was for me the best part, was doing it together. The worst part was all the doubt that I put on myself and all the medical information and misinformation that we received along the way. Do you know the sex of the baby?
Yes.
And that's how you gonna know. Do you plan on having the baby naturally or doing an epidural? We gonna see. I don't know. We gonna see. How did you plan content around the bump? It seemed like maybe you pre-shot a lot of it. I did shoot a lot of photos probably in my 12th week. I shot like weeks worth of content just to have. I reduced the amount of times per week that I posted on Instagram, so I didn't need as many photos. And then yeah, I was really selective about angles and positioning, got really creative with that. So I did plan content. I did know that I wanted to announce after I finished my dissertation, so I knew that I needed some content to get me through, you know, the 18-week mark. Were you using anything to help with fertility besides prayer? No, prayer and I guess tracking periods, but that's all. Do you have irregular periods or PCOS? I always say PCOS, but PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. I did not have irregular periods. Supposedly, I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I say supposedly because the doctor who told me that told us like many other things which are like not true. So I don't know. It was going to be the family first car. It's an interesting question.
Oh, the first car? Oh, TBD, but when we get it, we can take a picture of it, I guess. I don't know if you want.
I'm gonna remind you that, and you're gonna be like, no, I'm not putting the picture of our car on the internet. Well, you said we could put it up.
Oh, sorry, rewind.
Okay, what did you do differently to get over the doctor's diagnosis? So actually, when I went to the doctor, I shared this on the Mother's Day post. I didn't share the timeline. So we went to the fertility doctor in February, and honestly, after we got the news that we wouldn't be able to get pregnant naturally, basically I just, in my mind, decided not to think about it for a couple of months until I was done with my degree. So I just put aside what the doctor said from my mind, because my focus then was just finishing school. And then I figured, let me finish school first, and then I'll have enough like mental and emotional capacity to deal with what has just been, the information that's just been shared with us. So what I did differently was honestly to stop like trying, which is weird, but really that's what happened. Like we just like stopped trying, and then it happened. So yeah. And did your mom suspect you were pregnant before you told her? So my parents' reaction when I told, so my mom was like, she already knew. She said she already knew. She already had a dream about the gender of the baby and all this stuff. So my mom already knew. That's all. What names are you two thinking of? When you hear a name, that'll be the name that we were thinking of. Okay, how did you know you were ready for a baby? This can be a daddy question.
How did you know?
Right here.
Okay, how did you know you're ready?
How did you know you were ready for a baby? What factors did you take into account?
Oh, it seemed like fun to have a baby around.
John's all about fun. He's like, oh, I think it'll be cute to have a crawling child. Let's have a baby.
I don't know, I like babies, so.
He does.
You know.
Yeah, Jonathan actually was ready for a baby before. Not that I wasn't ready, but I could have still waited a couple years and been totally fine. But I didn't feel like I was pressured. I was just like, okay, sure, fine, let's have a baby. What have you noticed about your body since being pregnant? The female body is a wonderful thing. A very wonderful, magical thing that can create life, and it's pretty dope. You should love your body, because once you're pregnant, it just expands, and then the stomach you thought was not flat is really not flat. Okay. Lighting change. Had to turn on the light. Sorry, the sun went down. So what are you most excited, nervous for? We got to do these faster.
Okay. So for me, just getting through the process and actually delivering a healthy baby, I think is the most nerve-wracking part. Excited about everything. Excited to see the baby, excited to meet the baby, excited to hold the baby, and mommy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm most nervous about us actually bringing the baby in, like just getting through the process. And I'm most excited about seeing how Jonathan is as a father. I think he's going to be such a good dad, and he's already so sweet and so cute. So I'm really excited to see him interacting with our kid.
I see.
Yeah. Do you want a boy or girl? All babies matter. Did you have to change your diet to help you conceive? I didn't change my diet. How are you feeling about life as a mama? I'm feeling pretty good. A little nervous, but pretty good. Feeling pretty good. How did you cope with the annoying aunties asking, when will we have a baby? Luckily not that many people in person asked me that. I think people who know me know that I'm not the one. So nobody really asked me that. Are you scared of the pain of childbirth? I try not to think about it, really. It's like, if I gotta do what I gotta do, so that's it.
Did yours or Jonathan's family pressure you to start a family? Not really.
Yeah. Not at all. I think actually your mom told me to finish school first.
Graduate.
Yeah, she wanted to graduate first, which I did. Yeah. Okay, are you going to raise your baby Kenyan, Nigerian, or American in terms of languages, culture, values, etc.?
I mean, it's based on our experiences from wherever we came from, wherever we picked them up. That's how we raised them.
Yeah, we're all of those things. We're Kenyan, we're Nigerian, we're American. So all of those cultures, all of those values, all of that knowledge, language shapes who we are, and that's going to shape how we raise our kids. Did you always want children?
Yeah.
I did too. Are you worried that motherhood will put a huge pause in your career life? Are you worried that fatherhood will put a huge pause in your career life?
So who asked that question?
See what I did there? See what I did there? We gotta ask these men the same questions.
Actually, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
I mean, the first few years, you just have to be around and...
Around what?
On the family, on the baby, on the mother, and when you have X amount of time, X number of hours in a day. So, yeah, it's I haven't thought that much about it, but yes, you know, I have to be around.
Yes. So you think it's gonna put a huge pause in your career?
A huge pause. I don't know. I think we'll try to make it work. For both of us.
Yeah.
For you and for me.
Yeah, I'm not. So I think the question is, are you worried that motherhood will? I'm sure that motherhood will put a pause on my career, but I'm not worried about that. That is life, and that is, I think that sometimes we prioritize career too much. Not too much, but we could prioritize one or the other. For me, I see everything as working in tandem, in harmony, and in balance. So if I need to step back my career in order to raise our child, I don't feel like I'm not losing anything or missing anything out. It's just a thing that has to happen. So I'm not worried about it at all. Have you thought about what your future parenting style is? That wasn't a full question. Future parenting style, go.
You know, I don't know what kind of styles there, but
there's only two styles. There's beat your kids or don't beat your kids.
I don't know. You just
beat your kids. Well, beat your kids. That's how I was raised. I came out swimmingly.
Really?
Swimmingly.
You came out okay.
I came out really great. I came out really great, and I was disciplined. And you were also disciplined. You came out fantastically.
Yeah, I mean, you do. I don't know. We'll see. But you do. My view is you do whatever you do based on the situation. Okay. Some situations may call for style X. Some situations call for style Y. You know, whatever is appropriate, mix and match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you able to balance dissertation prep and the trials of conceiving?
So
it's a good question. I mean, so luckily conceiving usually happens outside of daytime hours, or trying to conceive. So my work was done separately from the job of trying to conceive. And in terms of like the emotional or mental worry of conceiving, it was always present. During my entire doctoral program, I've always had other challenges. So before conceiving, it was, you know, struggling to figure out whether I should actually finish the degree. Before that, I was, you know, sorting out wedding planning and building a business. So there's always something that is happening. I think there's always gonna be something happening in your life while you're doing work or while you're pursuing an education, and you just kind of have to figure out how to address everything that's going on in your life without losing, but while being able to power through the day enough to continue doing your work, whether that's academic work or professional work or even just relational work with your spouse or other people. Do you have any fears about being parents?
Yeah. Yes. You know, worry about being a good parent, of course, worry about taking care of your family,
yeah.
Worry about being a good influence, being a good example.
Yeah, so I babysat my nephews a few weeks ago, and they're 4 and 2, and we took them to the science center, and I was watching the 2-year-old. I blinked and homie fell and cut his face open and was bleeding, and it was like a whole mess. And so that day I felt very afraid of my ability to take care of a child. So I think I'm just afraid that kids gonna get hurt, but kids get hurt actually all the time, like whether or not you're watching them. So, and he healed, he's fine now, he's totally fine, but that's probably my biggest fear, that something happens and goes wrong because I did something wrong. Things will probably always go wrong, but there will probably be instances where it's literally my fault. So what did you do differently from your miscarriage? I'm assuming you mean after your miscarriage. I didn't do anything differently. I think the only different thing that I did is that I think 4 months after is when we sought out medical advice, which turned out to be helpless and useless, but more on that will come later on the blog. I don't want to spend too much time diving into that part of this journey, but yeah, I didn't really do anything differently. I didn't take any magic pills or herbs or drink apple cider vinegar or stop eating meat or anything. We just gave it to God and stopped trying, and that's when we got pregnant. How does it feel being pregnant? I don't know, it's just a lot. It's a lot of weight right here. Is sleeping at night difficult? Yeah, like in the past week, the sleeping has been difficult, but I'm adjusting. It's just about adjusting to your body, and there's weight in different places, there's movement in different places, there's heaviness in different places, so you have muscles that are now working that weren't working before. So I'm just always making adjustments, figuring out what position is most comfortable. Even when I'm sitting, I realize that like I need to make sure that I'm sitting kind of straight, because if I like slouch like this, then I'll start to hurt. So just always an adjustment. That's the one other fun thing about pregnancy, is ever learning. I'm always learning about my body, because it's always like, nah girl. So I finished the questions that were asked, but I don't want to end on that question because it's kind of random. If you could carry this child, would you carry this child?
Probably.
Y'all gotta find y'all some progressive men right here, okay?
All right.
All right, guys.
Subscribe.
Wait, let me do the outro. Okay. All right, guys, so thanks so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for all of your well wishes on our pregnancy. Again, we are so grateful to God for making this happen for us. And if you are trying to get pregnant, we are praying for and with you and standing in the gap for you as well. And I'm here if y'all got questions. I'm going through this for the first time, so I have no idea what I'm doing, and Jonathan has no idea what he's doing either, so you can ask him questions too.
No, just
ask him on Instagram. His Instagram is Jonathan Kola. If you have advice, I'd also love to hear some advice. So feel free to let me know down below in the comments if you have other questions. Stay tuned on Instagram and on the blog for additional pregnancy related content. And thanks again for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.
She'll see you in the next video. Bye.